Hi, Siri. I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning. It's a live edition. It's Wednesday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I'm sure people are tired tonight or today if you stayed up. If your party won, congratulations. If your party didn't win, I think it's congratulations to you as well. So anyway,
Yes.
we got a lot to talk about. We'll have JC today. We'll also have Chris Harry. We'll talk a little Gator hoops. And yeah, that's about it. We had some action last night. If you watched that instead of all the coverage, I'm sure some people tuned in to Ball State playing whoever they played. What's up, JC? You're on the Titan Number Hotline courtesy of Comfort Town.
I tell you what, my man, I've never stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning and felt this energized at 8 o'clock in the morning. And or let's just say it's been a long time, QB. It's been a long damn time. And I'm, you know what? I just have a good feeling in my heart right now. I'm very happy. But the thing that I tell you, I don't know where to start really. I'm just going to say that I want this country to heal. That's what I want more than anything. I want some unification if it's possible, and I want success to bring people together. And I think that's hopefully what's going to happen. I just want to see this country unite again. I want to be the United States of America and one nation under God, not some secular country that's split half and half, and living that nightmare is just no good. So having said that, listen, you have to be gracious when your team wins. And in this case, I just hope that Texas doesn't get too upset when they get upset on Saturday and the Florida Gators roll in there and shock the world. I just hope everybody is okay in Austin right now and, and okay after Saturday when they get upset.
Do what?
Do what?
Do what?
Believe in anything, QB.
Somebody on here said it was a 3-touchdown win last night. Look, as you said, I like common sense, and common sense prevailed.
I agree.
Okay, so JC, I really don't know what to talk about today because everybody.
Well, QB, I mean, it's been hard. Yeah, our attention's been kind of diverted. But here's what I will tell you: we had the first college football.
We had that last night too.
Right, they had that, and
it's very confusing.
Well, QB, it is, but in a way, it just feels like the same thing that we went through last year with the cottage industry of predicting who's going to go where they're placed, and how it's all going to work out. Except with 4 teams, we're dealing with 3 times that many in 12. What I did see, though, that was not surprising. I think Oregon deserves to be the number 1 team in the country with what they've accomplished. That quarterback has been the answer for them. The coach stole a game against Ohio State using the rules at the time. And even though the officials, when they could have overturned that too many men on the field penalty, against Oregon that Dan Lanning used to run off 10 seconds, but they chose not to because they wanted to just stay within the confines of what the rules were at the time. And so, Oregon pulled it off against Ohio State. But I agree with Ohio State number 2. I agree with Georgia number 3. And I think you've got a chance to have 4 or 5 teams in the out of the SEC in the playoff. I'm going to go to Houston, Dallas, and this is a pony right here. I'm going to Dallas.
Pony Express.
These guys are 8-1 and unbeaten in the ACC, and right now with Clemson having lost last night. Let me tell you real quick about these guys. These guys, QB, real quick. I know you're reading the comments, but I just got to say this. Do you realize that they will not be paid by the ACC for 9 years? No television money going to SEC.
They don't need it.
You know what they did? They just went out and raised $100 million.
Yeah, that school's got so much money.
It's incredible. And, I really kind of hope they win the ACC. I've got to be honest.
They got a good chance. Real quick, what I was talking about with the college football play, I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I guess because what's weird is you can't really put in your bracket due to
Right.
conference
No,
champions.
they can't predict
Yeah,
conference.
it's just weird when you watch it. Um, so anyway, it was something to watch other than all the crazy coverage. I was laughing at Tommy here. Tommy said he just got a 15-yard penalty for celebrating.
Hey, take that penalty and smile, baby.
And Chris says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, that felt better last night than any victory we've had so far in 3 years under Billy.
You got that right.
Speaking of that, I saw this on Twitter. I took a screenshot of it, JC.
Yes.
Florida football records under Donald Trump and under Biden/Harris. Under
Okay.
Biden and Harris, the mighty Gators have been 21 and 25.
Oh dear, not
Under
good.
Trump, they're 33 and 16.
Oh, good times are coming, QB. Good times are coming back.
But that doesn't really start until next year.
That's right. We're gonna have rest of 2025 moment, QB. I think Florida's got 4 games left. Listen, I know that you can't just live off moral victories because of effort. You can't just get A's for effort and roll on and think everything's great. It's about wins and losses. It's a results-driven business. I simply understand that, and I know this team has been, through a lot. This coach, of course, has as well. But it's incumbent upon them to do what the guy did last night that won, and that is turn this thing around and have a renaissance of sorts. A comeback of sorts and a renewal. And I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I do think he's going to get a chance. And I know this topic has been kind of poignant with most Gator fans, but I do think he's going to be back for another year. And I think he's going to have a chance to do it one more year. And that will have been 4 years after next year. And I do think if they finish strong this year, maybe to somehow, some way, get to 6 wins if they can. Given everything, I think that would be a win.
All right, a couple of texts on the Titan of our text line. This is from TJ in Mount Dora. Says, Shane, I'm officially throwing my name in the coaching ring for next year. Yeah. I'll go have a losing record and get a big buyout.
Well, I get it. I get it. Nobody's happy with the results. I totally get it. But I got to say that in that Georgia game, I saw something a little bit different than what I've been watching for 3 years, QB. And I know we don't want to, again, just credit effort without results. But they could have just laid down, and they did not do that.
Well, they haven't laid down in one game since Billy Naper's been the head coach.
I see.
This text says, Shane, if you like football, we have a great schedule for 2025. USF at Miami, Florida A&M, and FSU. Then same SEC teams as this year. Home games against Mississippi State, Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, and Jax. Away games are Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, and A&M.
Well, there you go.
We get to go to the Grove next year.
I was just going to say, you can't be upset about that, QB. Go early. Go early. Go early.
I might do that.
I think you go early is what you do. Absolutely.
I may go early, a few days early, and play Old Waverly.
Woo!
And some other golf courses up there.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely. I thought Old Waverly was in the Starkville area.
It is, but it's, it's an hour, hour and a half from.
Yeah. Tupelo. You go up to Tupelo and then go over. I get it. Yep.
This text from 941 says Trump will make the Gators great again.
Well,
let's hope.
Oh my God.
Okay, so people probably saw it on Twitter last night if you weren't looking at all.
God bless that guy too, Musk. Oh, he's a hero.
Well, they have a dream team, there's no question. Trey Wilson underwent surgery, I believe, on the knee. Kyle's question on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Did Wilson play 4 games this year, or can he medically redshirt? And what about Trey Webb as well? Yeah. Treyon Webb had surgery also. I think he played fewer games. I'd have to look. We may ask Chris Harry that, Kyle. I don't know.
Yeah. How did the backcourt play, QB, in that first game? Because
very good.
Okay, that's the strength. It was last year. I think it is again this year. I want to see the front court get better, but the backcourt with Clayton and Will Richard, that is going to be your key to success. And hopefully this team will be something a little bit better than last year, which was okay. But I'm looking forward to basketball season now. QB, I'm looking forward to everything right now. I mean, everything. Look what I got right here. Look what I got. Look what
You
I
got core power.
I got core power.
Oh my gosh, you're turning the page, JC. You're turning the page.
The whole country is, thank God. And
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law. It went away, so I got to pull it up on my phone. Sorry, folks. I don't know why it went away, but it does. So I have to pull it up on my phone. And I'm waiting for, here it is. Do you see any similarities between Jack Pyburn and Brian Urlacher? No, not at all. No. Jack's a very good player.
Yeah, I love
but there is no comparison. Brian Urlacher is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but Jack's
a freak. He was a freak.
Great player out of New Mexico. But Pyburn's intense, man. He
plays hard. He does exactly what I tell people. You do not want to face him as an offensive lineman because he has a motor and he never shuts down.
That's right. We need guys like that, QB. They need about 11 more of those. Listen, I thought the thing with Wilson was a hip. I didn't know. Either way, he's gonna hopefully be back next year. True. Wilson.
Everybody thinks he's leaving.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I think he should come back. He hasn't had enough sample size this year. I know he's great.
No, he's leaving to go to another school. He's not.
Well, okay.
He's not old enough to go pro.
Right. Okay. That's correct. But I why not stick around with DJ and the rest of the guys? I don't know.
Those days are over.
I know.
The days of recruiting classes coming in and staying are done. Michael on YouTube, brought to you by Quiet Plum, says, Shane, who would you like to see as the next Gators head coach? Should they let Napier go? Michael, you've watched this program multiple times, I believe. Just go watch the old ones.
QB, he is right now. He's got a team playing at the best, the highest.
That is beside the point.
I know.
He asked the question.
I'm talking
about asked the question.
Kiffin. I'm talking about Kiffin. Has got a team playing at the highest level right now.
Yeah, I think they beat Georgia handily this week.
That's right. And I don't know about handily, but I know this. They have been, conspicuously out of the conversation up until I think last night. And even though they're ranked 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, everything is in front of Mississippi. And if you're a Lane Kiffin fan, you're going to see some special things, I have a feeling, here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully not in Gainesville, but that's beside the point right now. They're going to have a hell of a game this weekend on Saturday in the Grove. It's going to be.
Kevin says on the Titan tomorrow text line, dang, JC didn't win last night. I wrote him in on at least 100 ballots.
You are a great American, sir. I appreciate you and all the support. Hey, man, I couldn't be happier right now. And listen, again, gracious in victory, but there's work to do. And all of this nonsense we've lived under the last 4 years hopefully will start to fade away and be a distant memory. Thank God.
Leroy from Palm Coast on the Titan MR text line says, QB, thanks for the tips on the greens yesterday at Hawkstone. They worked well. My girl shot her best round. So they did go practice on the 1975 carpet. Good job.
Hey, the carpet was measured a week ago, and the number came out at about 7.5.
That's crazy. Do you know the other day, JC, when I played last? Look, did we play? No, we played in Jacksonville. So I played Sunday. Anyway, I played at UF. Do you know what the stent meter was at?
And I wasn't there. I'm going to guess at 12.5.
12.5. That's not even counting downhill.
Oh, dear Lord.
They were so good. So good.
Well, listen, QB, come on. I mean, they were redone a couple years ago, and they have kept the thing up, and money is there to take care of that.
Yeah. I mean, the grounds crew is outstanding.
Right.
This text here on the Titan MR text line says, pray for the safety of President Trump.
Oh, God.
All right.
Anyway, I listen, folks, just I'm gonna have a permanent smile on my face the rest of this year. And
Electronics World, integration and design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment, affordable local installation service and support at electronicsworld.net. JC, what golf shirt are you wearing today?
This is the shirt I got when I was down at Doral in Miami. Trump National Doral, and it's got I didn't know that on that property there are 4 courses. I thought it was just the Blue Monster. There's 3 others, and it's a great place to go. If you love South Florida, you want to go to Miami, I highly recommend spending a little money and heading to that golf course. You could have a great time playing 4 different courses. They got beautiful villas to stay in, a great restaurant, and there is going to be a party there that I'm aware of in about a week and a half that is going to be absolutely on fire lit. And so God bless them, but I'll tell you, it's a good golf course. It's a fun place to play. You're going to lose some balls. But at this point, who cares?
Scott's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. Shane, did you see Todd Golden's reaction to Thomas Houck's diving for those balls? Yeah, he went nuts. It was great to see. He got the crowd fired up. Team played hard. They fell way behind by like 12 and then blew them out in the second half.
There you go. Jimmy, what did you
Michael
see?
says, hang on a second. Michael says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, I just can't see Lane staying at UF longer than 5 to 6 years. He would jump ship if another job. Look, first of all, he's not our coach, but it doesn't matter. I was talking about this with somebody a couple of weeks ago, JC. Doesn't matter. And they're like, well, this guy, you can't trust him to stay. There's no guarantee from any coach in the world that they're going to stay an X amount of years, right? You don't know. You don't know. Just like you don't know how long a player is going to stay today.
That's right. Yeah, they can hightail it anytime they want to. Did you see anything last night on the show that caught your eye at all? I mean,
What show?
The college football.
No, I was busy doing some other stuff. Like I said, I think it's hard to follow because
it is because
they had BYU as I think the 4 seed, but there's possibility that and SMU wasn't even in the top 12,
and BYU might not even be.
BYU beat SMU.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be fun, but teams 13, 14, 15, and 16 that all have like 2 losses that don't get in are going to raise hell.
Well, okay, but you know what? You've only got 12 spots, and that's plenty right now. And I think it's only a matter of years before they go to 16 QB. I think one of the things that's going to have to change, and I really do believe this, is that the top 4 seeds at some point are going to want a damn home game, because you're going to have home games for seeds 5, 6, 7, and 8 against 9, 10, 11, and 12. While the top 4 teams take off. I also think at some point, this was a point Gary Danielson made on a Sirius satellite radio on a show, that at some point, these conference championship games have to be reevaluated, because all they do at this point is eliminate potentially one team that otherwise would be going in. If you have a 2-loss,
but that's true. But it also could put a team that has no chance into the 12-team playoff, because if they all get automatic bid if they win.
Well, sure. I mean, you get a top 4 seed if you win the conference. So yes, that's right. And the conferences are defined by these championship games. But at some point, I think the SEC is going to look at this, or the ACE and the Big Ten may look at this and go, "What are we doing to this loser? What if you go into that game? Let's say Texas A&M goes into that game, and with 1 loss, they lose to get their 2nd loss. Are you telling me that somebody's going to jump them with 2 losses that didn't play? That could conceivably happen, and I don't know if that's a good thing or the right thing. So I'm not sure, but I do think that at some point we've got to get these top seeds to get a bye to have a game on campus. A game on campus. Think about this. Notre Dame is going to possibly have a game on campus, and they don't even play.
Can I pause you right there? Did you realize this? I did not realize this until, gosh, who was I talking to? Okay, but because you've always been a proponent of these on-campus games, right?
I have.
Okay. The difference is, JC, the ticket prices are set by the college football playoff. So the get-in, like I was told, the get-in price just for a regular seat is going to be like $375. Okay. Your student section ain't going to be the student section.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's going to be a lot of corporate people sitting on their hands. Yes. Now, there are going to be some mamas and daddies that will buy little Jimmy a ticket to, or they may have great jobs as students.
Excellent. But I never thought
it's not going to be like a regular home game that you think.
Well, that is an excellent point. That never occurred to me.
It didn't cross my mind either until the gentleman that was part of, I think it was, who it was? It was Mike McGarity. Isn't that who used to be the AD?
Yes.
Here
He's George. He went.
Yeah, when I was in Jacksonville last week.
Greg McGarity.
Greg McGarity. Yeah, Greg. Because he runs the Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that at some event I was at, and I was like, man, I did not realize that.
But you cannot price out students on an on-campus game.
But you can't, the UF or whoever can't make the decision. Now they may have an allotment, but he basically said like the get-in price is going to be set by the CFP at about $350.
Forget it. I mean, no, that's going to be a problem for kids on campus.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine that. I mean, the whole concept of having games on campus is for that school that deserved that seating to have that game, to enjoy the fact that there's not going to be, another trip to a neutral site field for the people of that team. You're going to price them out like that? I think that's that. I don't think that's right. I mean, I agree that's what could happen. I just don't think that's a good idea. But
like Tony says here on Facebook Live, he says there probably will be a student allotment like the Final Four, but prices will still be nuts.
Yeah.
So anyway,
good point. Very good point.
Real good. Rob says, Rob S on YouTube, brought to you by Qualcomm, says, looking at the replays of the offenses with DJ, Billy play calls are so bad. DJ's 2 for 6 with 3 throwaways because nothing was open. Okay, well, hang on, Rob. I'm not taking up for the play calling, but remember, not every play that's called, somebody's going to be open. And the other thing, too, is the touchdown that he threw was a tremendous design and play call. So you got to take it. You just.
I think what I noticed about that play too, QB, was the timing of it. It is exactly what you do when you turn the ball over at midfield.
Right. Yeah. You take a shot.
You absolutely. And
what I'm saying is the scheme and the design of the play was phenomenal.
It was well done, well executed.
And DJ forced a couple of the other ones earlier there. But I hear what you're saying, but I think sometimes people think every pass play that somebody's going to be open. That's not the case.
Not at all.
Not the case at all.
Not at all.
All right, JC, let's get to our Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry, Port Charlotte surrounding areas.
Okay.
How did you do on your picks last week, by the way?
So Seth Harp was on for you last week while you were up at Jacksonville. I went 6-4. He was 4-6. Not bad. I mean, it's okay. I had Florida inside of the 14.5-point spread. That was correct. It was close at the end, but it was the right pick because they were inside that number the entire day. It was the right pick. Today is Wednesday the 6th. So there are only 2 MACtion games, Mid-Atlantic Coast Conference. And, last night we had 2 games between Bowling Green and Miami of Ohio. Bowling Green and Central Michigan and Miami of Ohio and Ball State. They played in a driving rainstorm in Muncie, Indiana last night at Ball State. Tonight is Ohio and Kent State. Kent State's the worst team in the MAC. Ohio's pretty good. And then Northern Illinois, we all remember them. And Western Michigan, who's trying to win that conference. They are, I think, unbeaten in that conference.
We don't have to pick those games, but we could always pick the Thursday night NFL game.
Thursday night, all we have is again, 2 small schools. 2 games featuring very small schools. So we go to the NFL for Thursday night football, and it's the Bengals and the Ravens, which I think is desperation time for Cincinnati, but they got a big win last week. Burrow had 5 touchdown passes. Baltimore seems to be unstoppable offensively. Now you've got Henry and Jackson together doing what they do. I like the 6 points with Cincinnati, even though defensively they've been suspect this year. Baltimore will score a lot. That is a team, it's hard to figure it out. Sometimes they can go off and lose a game that's inexplicable, and then another time they can go off and beat anybody with Lamar doing what he does. But that's Thursday night football in Baltimore. So it's a Bengals +6 QB. I guess I'm going to take Cincinnati. I'll take the points, but it would surprise me to see Baltimore win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'll just be different, and I'll take the Ravens. I like the Ravens team. But it's the National Football League. Crazy.
Well, they got
who would ever thought the Bucs would have been in that game against the Chiefs, right?
Right. But here's the other thing. Yes, he should have gone for 2. I hear you, but a coin flip is what determined that game. But we all knew as soon as Kansas City won that coin flip on Monday night, they were winning that game, and that's the chance you take if you don't go for 2. It's basically a 50-50 thing. But QB, the trade deadline was yesterday in the NFL. Not a big day, but there were 2 teams that I thought that really improved themselves. Detroit getting Ladarius Smith from Cleveland as an edge rusher on the outside, a defensive player that can create havoc. He's already got 5 sacks this season, and Detroit now, who's missing Aiden Hutchinson, has to be the clear favorite in the NFC to get home field advantage and win that conference without a doubt. I'm going to go see them on Sunday at Houston. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen them already once at Dallas. This is a real deal team. They play hard. They're gritty. They're tough. They're talented. They've got everything you need at the quarterback position, and they've got some running backs and wide receivers that are as good as anybody in the NFC. And then you've got that's going to be on Sunday. So I think so they got Smith, and then you've got the Washington Commanders, Redskins. Washington gets Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, and he is an all-pro quarterback, and I think that's going to improve their situation in Washington. Washington is very excited about their football team right now, and they should be with that quarterback and the way they're playing. They're not an overly talented team, but Dan Quinn is a very popular coach, and what he's doing right now is changing the culture in Washington. New management, new everything. That team is a legitimate threat to win the NFC East. And I think
I don't even know who bought that team, but you can just tell there's a different vibe.
It's a whole new, and they love Quinn. They love Clint.
They do love Dan. Dan's an awesome guy.
Yeah, and they love Cliff Kingsbury calling off. I think Jaden Daniels. They say he shows up at 5:30 in the morning every single day to the facility there, and they are working their tails off. And they should or could easily win that division. It's between them and Philadelphia right now. So,
Rodney's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law. Shane, why does Billy use the running backs for kickoff and punt returns? Shouldn't he try some of our speedy receivers? Our receivers do the punt returns. Jim DK, who has been phenomenal at decision making, and then when he has decided to run the punts back, he's been really good at it. Kickoffs, you usually use your running backs. Jaden Ball's usually back there. I know Trey Webb was, but I want to say we've had the last couple of weeks, maybe Tank Hawkins he and Jaden Ball have been the kickoff returners.
Well,
the return is definitely Chim DK. He's done it the entire year and been really good at it.
Well, we're going to talk about this on Friday. I'll be in Texas, but what I'm going to say is that if they can keep this clock running and run the ball and get some first downs, that'd be a great idea.
I'm going to have my buddy Blake Brockermeyer, who played All-American at Texas, does a lot of stuff for like 24/7 Sports out there, out in the Midwest or out in the Texas area. He says Quinn Ewers is kind of holding Texas back this year.
Wow, they're already turning on Quinn Ewers.
He says he has not played very well, and the few clips that I've seen, he really hasn't.
Yeah, I think he's been banged up pretty badly. I don't know. I mean, they've got a luxury of two quarterbacks on that team, and you can still win it with Quinn Ewers. Listen, they went to the semifinals last year. They were one play away from going.
Right. I think like he and Carson Beck, and like I don't know Texas's roster real well. I'll look at it more starting tomorrow. Yeah. They didn't lose as many skill guys from their team last year, I don't believe, as Georgia did. I mean, Georgia lost McConkey and Brock Bowers. Two good players.
Very good players. Yeah.
I would take Quinn Ewers over Carson Beck though any day of the week.
Well, Larry Lamborghini's going to have his hands full.
Larry Lamborghini is going to be.
But would it surprise you if he threw 3 touchdown passes against Ole Miss?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think Ole Miss is so explosive on offense,
and they're on defense.
I think if they get ahead, that could be a problem for Georgia.
I 100% agree, and I am thinking that right now Ole Miss is a 2.5-point underdog. I don't think you're going to need the points. Take them straight up.
Yeah, Ole Miss is kicking themselves on a 4th and 7 that they gave up against. When's the last time Kentucky's completed a deep pass? Think about it. They complete a 4th and 7 for their own 20.
I know.
And then you had the win at in Baton Rouge and let it slip away in the last second.
Absolutely. But hey, they're still alive though. Everything is.
They got to win out though. They got to win out.
No doubt.
All right, JC, enjoy your trip to Texas.
I'll see you on Friday. It's a great day.
Go take a nap and get up and go for a jog and just be really excited.
I'm excited, QB. Have a great day and weekend, and we'll see you Friday from the Lone Star State, baby.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We come back. We talk a little Gator hoops with our man Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security Systems Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Crime Prevention Security Systems, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, Dave & Buster's, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. The Gridiron sponsors are Florida Cracker Kitchen, Comfort Temp, Peachland Dental, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Cogent Bank, UF Bookstores, Florida Victorious, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Electronics World, Miapa Latin Cafe, 84 Lumber, Baker Sporting Goods, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Signs, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Okido America, and Gator Bait Media. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever you're on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor and advertise, call our man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Miapa Latin Cafe. You discover the ultimate Cuban culinary experience at Miapa Latin Cafe with 5 locations in Gainesville and Alachua. You're never far from the best Cuban food north of Miami. We have Chris Harry, I believe, had a little... Can you hear us now, Chris? No, I'm going to have to send you a link just to call in then. He's having some computer issues. Got a couple of texts here that I want to get to after I send this to Chris. Let me bear with me, folks. Live radio, and we have technical difficulties from my man Chris. We may get the UA even needs to buy him a new computer. Okay. In the meantime, while we wait on Chris Harry to get logged in, let me read a couple of these text messages on the Titan MR text line. This is from Daryl. He says, great to be an American. I don't think DJ plays Napier is making Texas prepare for him. Yeah, look, as I said yesterday on the program, Chris, can you hear us? You can hear us, but we can't hear you. I sent you that link to call on your phone so we can get some words of wisdom from you. So I do not think DJ will play. I don't think he will play the rest of the year personally. Hamstrings are no joke. And with his style of play, I would rather his ankle be hurt than his hamstring. But I've been wrong before. I've been around a lot of athletes and I just don't see it happening. This text here, not sure who it's from, says, I went to see the Lady Gators play basketball. Love Coach Kelly Ray. They also played well. Yeah, they had a big win over FAU in their opener in the O-Dome. I think we're going to get Chris on his phone here in a second. Real quick, Wolf Gator says, NIL is struggling, and most people don't want to donate to a losing product on the field. He has to win some games at some point. If he comes back next year, are we fine with him going 6-6? Don't know. I don't think that'll cut it. Rob S. says UA has to be getting a lot of pushback from boosters because you would think they would extend Napier by now if they were going to give him another year to salvage recruiting. I don't know why you would extend somebody. Chris, you there, my man?
I think so.
Okay, well, do this. Just no video and just do your phone because I think you're gonna have an echo.
Like now?
There we go. Is that right, Zach? We got it now? Yeah, just mute your computer and just do the conversation like you're on the phone.
I can't.
Or just turn your computer off. You should. You know what I'm saying?
My computer's not. Yeah, but my computer's not even open. I don't know what you guys are
Okay, we're good. We're good now. We're good now. Tell the UA you need a new computer. Chris, give me your thoughts. Obviously, if I remember correctly, Gators fell down to USF when I was watching it, like 10 or 12 early in the first half, and then they made a little run.
Yep.
Played really well in the second half. Just give me your overall thoughts of what you saw.
Yeah, I think just initially, I mean, I can't put myself in USF's locker room or certainly in their situations, but the whole thing with their coach dying 11 days before the game started, I think they were riding a pretty intense wave of emotion, and that's something. Versus they just kind of came out really, really strong, and I think the Gators were a little, I don't know, I don't want to say tentative. I think they're just maybe opening night jitters a little bit because they couldn't get a shot to fall. Meanwhile, USF was hitting a bunch of shots. They were faster to the ball. They were faster in transition. They were pretty damn deadly from three-point line, not just in the first half at the beginning of the game, but throughout the game. I think they ended up hitting 12 for the game. But the Gators finally found their footing. They did not shoot the ball well from the outside, 5 of 25 from three, Florida was. They turned to just having their Gators like attack the basket. And they were just better on that front. Will Richard had a career high 25. Walter Clayton was fantastic. He had 29 points. I think he was 10 of 15 from the floor. And again, they did it without hitting a bunch of three. I think those two guys were 4-12 combined. The rest of the team being 1 of 12 or 1 of 13, what have you. But it was a good victory for Florida. Season opening win. USF may be better. They lost their three best players last year from a 25-win team. I think USF's going to be. It's going to look like a better win down the line. But it was certainly something the Gators can take away and say, we need to be better at this. We need to be better at that. It's always good for coaches to take something away from even a 15-point win that they can pick at their players about a little bit.
Yeah, obviously got some new transfers that came in. How do you feel like, I know it's game one, it's going to take more games for them to kind of gel together, but do you think they kind of mesh pretty well in game one?
Elijah Martin, yes. Sam Alexis off the bench, I thought was very, very good. What I want to see, I mean, Ruben Chinyelu needs to be better. I mean, he's 6'10 and a half, 255 pounds, incredibly physical. And his calling card since he got on campus has been how hard he played, how hard he competed, especially on the defensive end. And he just seemed a little off. I mean, he only played, I think, 16 minutes. And I mean, going into the season, just calling it like it is, the way, if he was only going to play 15 or 60 minutes, it was because he was going to be in foul trouble, not because he wasn't being effective. And I think that'll be addressed. Alex Condon was pretty active. Tommy Hawk was pretty active. He didn't number really particularly well, but he was flying around and made a great, just some hustle plays that got his coach and his team fired up. But again, a first game. They play Jacksonville Thursday in the home opener. They got a game early next week against Grambling. Then they had their first, I would say, significant road test. Something that would get some people's attention will be next week at Florida State. They're not supposed to, the Seminoles aren't supposed to be very good. but it will be obviously a rivalry game and the first real high major game that they have, and it's going to be a building process throughout this non-conference schedule that's not really particularly competitive, but they'll face a pretty good Wake Forest team around Thanksgiving, and the big game, of course, that people will be watching how they fare when they play North Carolina in December.
Yeah. Annie's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law. Chris, how would you assess Walter Clayton at the point?
Walter Clayton at the point, Florida only had 12 assists in the game. What I've been seeing in practice is that it's a very unselfish team. They whip that ball around pretty darn well and get a lot of guys open shots. So Walter's not going to be a high assist guy, I don't believe. He's not going to be like Zion Pullen was last year, 5 assists a game, low turnovers and stuff. So he's looking to make plays and looking to score. So when people say how's Walter Payton at the point, or Walter Payton? How's Walter Clayton?
We'll take him at the point.
Yeah, right. How's Sweetness at the point? I think he's looking for plays to make winning plays, and that's going to mean scoring for him. It's going to be point guard by committee, and whether that's Elijah Martin, he had 3 assists. Walter only had 2, but I think a lot of the low assist numbers. I mean, like last year, there were games where they had well over 20 assists in some games. But I think one of the reasons for the low assists in this particular game was going 5 of 25 from the 3-point line. I mean, if they a bad game of say 10 of 25, which is what 40%, I guess that's pretty good actually. But if they had hit 2 or 3 more, now you're talking about 15 assists and it just looks a little better. Believe me, Walter Clayton's not a problem right now at the point guard position. Down the line, when he's getting pressure or he's getting trapped or something, we'll see how he's progressed on that front. But we've worked on that stuff a lot. We've seen that happen during the off season and the preseason, and now doing it against live competition. We'll just see how it comes about.
Yeah, I think everybody realizes what a great athlete Walter Clayton Jr. is. I mean, obviously he could have played college football, but what amazes me, Chris, just watching him, he always looks like he's in slow motion, and his body control when he goes to the rack. He took the ball in the paint a couple of times and just kind of bodied him up and just made these little teardrops or little drop shots. I think it's fascinating, his body control.
Yeah, and you look. He works on all those shots. I mean, he's in the gym constantly with Torrey and Green, working on those things. And to your point, that change of pace and change of speed, that the hesitation moves that just gives him that split second on his defender, and outstanding finisher, and he's a 3-level scorer obviously, and unlike last year, we'll see what's going. I think he was 7 of 7 from the free throw line. He got off to a slow start. I think at one point last year he was shooting around sub 60% from the free throw line after leading the country in free throw shooting the year before. But eventually worked him way back up to I think he was 87-7 at the end of the season. So he's going to get to the line a lot. He's going to score a bunch of points. He's an All-American candidate, certainly a candidate for SEC Player of the Year right now. I mean, just going into the season, I would say.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question for Chris.
Yeah, it's not going to be about 7. It's not going to be about a 7-9 guy, is it?
It is. Chris wants to know, brought to you by Metal Law, when do you think we will see big is it how you pronounce his last name?
Let's just go with just call him Olivier or Ali. Just call him that.
Yeah.
It's easier.
So
Olivier Rayoc.
I will let you answer this question.
We will. I'd say who's asking that, by the way?
Mike.
What's his name?
No, Chris. I'm sorry.
Mike. Chris. This Chris is telling that Chris that we will see Olivier on the court in
pregame warm-ups.
I'd say November of 2025.
Right.
Game. Yeah.
If
November
you want to see him on the court, you'll have to come for pregame layup line, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he's a developmental player, man, and he's not ready to play. They don't need him to play. It's the plan all along when he got here, and he's cool with it. He understands it, and he's putting in the extra work that needs to be done. This is what Zach Edey looked like when he got to Purdue. His motor skills had not caught up with his size, and I don't know if Olivier's motor skills will ever catch up to 7'9". And remember, this is a guy who grew after he got on campus, so we may be looking at 7'10" a year from now. I don't know, but he's not going to play, and right now they don't need him to play, and he's frankly just not ready to play right now.
Wolf Gator on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says Gator basketball looks like last year. If they do not get tougher on the defensive end of the floor, they will struggle in tough SEC conference. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't happy with the defense the other day, and believe me, it's been the point of emphasis all throughout the season. And I mean, they won 11 games in the league last year, which is the most they've won, I believe, since 2018. They're going to be competitive in the league. The defense does need to get better. And I mentioned Ruben at the outset of this thing. He just needs to be more active, and he needs to be the guy he's been all summer. He wasn't that guy for some reason the other night. It was surprising. And between if you get Ruben Chinyayu doing what he's supposed to do, not getting out of position, playing as hard as he's been all offseason alongside Alex Condon, and then you put Thomas Hawk in there. Sam Alexis, like I said, really good defender and a rim protector. Those four guys should be good enough in the post to make this team consistently a better defensive team. Remember, 94th in the country last year, according to the KenPom metrics. I looked at the KenPom metrics after one game, and they're, I believe, 54th. So they've made improvements analytically. But obviously that's a small sample.
Text on the Titan More text line. This is from Frank. He says, Chris, when will the kid Klavzer, I can't pronounce his name either, get cleared? Because didn't they just say that he wasn't cleared like right before the game the other night?
No, they've known he hasn't been cleared. They were trying. They've been petitioning. They've been working to get him cleared, and they would like to get him cleared. He has worked his way into a situation where he can help them. He's an elite shooter. The more I watch him in practice, man, he had a day yesterday, boy. He reminds me a little bit of Lee Humphrey. I wasn't here during that phase, but I'm well aware of what kind of player Lee Humphrey was. But he's a savvy, high IQ player. Not a great athlete, I wouldn't say, but he can really, really spin it, man. And when he's open, he gets it off fast with guys in his face, and he can back off and drop them. So it's an eligibility thing because of his situation playing professionally the last couple of years over in Slovenia. So they're trying to work through it with compliance in the NCAA, and they're waiting on that. And as that the NCAA's, they don't feel any sense of urgency on this.
Right. So
for some reason, yeah.
Classification. What's he considered right now?
He's
like a freshman.
He is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, think about what we just talked about here. Because he got paid as a professional, right? Well, what does it matter? Everybody on the damn roster is being paid right now.
Right. Believe me, we can sit here and talk about how it doesn't make sense, and but these are you got to check these boxes, man.
Yeah.
And Florida dealing with that, and they would love to have that guy as another option on the perimeter.
All right.
He's a different player. He's a different kind of player than those other guys out there.
Interesting. We had a text a couple weeks ago, Chris. I think I spoke with you maybe in the press box about this, but they just resent the text, and I don't know if we responded on the program. A lot of people are curious about the red shirt rules in college basketball. It's if you play 4 games or less, you're able to red shirt in football. What is it in basketball?
It's not that the basketball coaches would love to have that. A rule like that, and you could, and get maybe more productive kind of developmental years out of guys. And a guy that maybe Ollie could play, you know, in a game that wouldn't burn a year on it. But it's not that, hey, it's 4 games in football. They don't have that rule. It's much more stringent. In fact, I'll try to get a definitive answer for the next time I'm on with you, but it's almost either he doesn't play or there has to be an injury. That's kind of the way it is right now. And then, of course, you could petition for things down for special circumstances or whatever, but there's no clear-cut number of games. It used to be like 1/3 of the season in. It's not like that anymore. There's different rules, and to be honest with you, I can't give you a definitive answer. Next time I'm on, we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. Last thing, a couple football questions here, and we'll get you out of here. Russell wants to know, he says, good morning and go Gators. Where would you guys rank DJ among SEC QBs? And I don't know if you have enough body of work to even do that.
I mean, yeah, I just where would you put him, Shane? You're the quarterback.
Well, I think Jackson Dart's playing better than anybody in the league right now. I think Garrett Nussmeier's a very good quarterback. I think Quinn Ewers is a good player. I thought Carson Beck was, but I don't know if he is or not. I don't know. I don't think you've seen him play enough. So, but I do want to ask you about this because Billy in his press conference said they didn't rule out DJ. Do you think there's any? I personally don't think he's going to play the rest of the year. What does Chris Harry think?
I can only go by what the coach said. I have not been out of practice. Obviously, I've been locked in on basketball and everything. But I mean, pick him up on a cart. You know, and I know, and he kept talking about the whole the whole situation with soft tissue and everything. And I go back to what I've gotten to know some of these trainers, and it's not medicine, it's sports medicine. And the idea of sports medicine is to get a guy healthy enough so he can play safely. So a lot goes into that with all these incredible recovery kind of tools and rehab tools that they have now, cryogenics and the cold tank and the stuff that I see these guys, the apparatus they're doing around their injured body parts and what have you. I saw Alex Condon going through some kind of like shock treatment on his knee like last week or something. He's sitting there going, that hurts. He goes, yeah, it hurts. Like, but next thing you know, he's practicing and starting in the game. So it's about getting him on the court and or on the floor or on the field in this particular situation with Lagway. And I can only go by what the coach says. I would be surprised if he played, but and you want him to be in a good situation to play. I was surprised. I'll give you better. I was surprised Jaden Daniels played in that Chicago game a couple weeks ago after hurting his rib.
Yeah, but, the difference though with like a rib, you it's going to bother you when you get hit or knocked down. I mean, you can wear like the rib pads or however they wrapped it. Mm-hmm. The deal with a muscle, especially the hamstring, like I said, if DJ had a high ankle sprain, they could treat it. Mm-hmm. They could really wrap that joker up. He could still play. He would be in pain, but he could play. Hamstrings, you may feel like you're okay, but as soon as you make one little subtle move in the pocket,
right,
you can re-aggravate.
That thing can go back. It can go. It and not re-aggravate it, but make it worse, right?
Yeah. And those things can linger for years.
And I don't think the trainers aren't going to put him in that position. Either they think that's stable enough where he can play, or wait another week and start him at home against LSU if indeed he's healthy enough to do that. I'd be surprised if I saw him play this week. Texas with that defense, it may not matter what quarterback is starting this week.
Yeah, I'll be surprised. I mean, like I said when I said a few minutes, I'd be surprised if he plays this year because I've just seen too many damn hamstring injuries, and I know they got better technology in today's world and guys heal differently. But it'll be impressive if he's able to come back. Chris, you got any good articles you're writing on?
I would love to write an article eventually about Urban Klausjar and his potential should he come eligible. But we'll wait on that. But as between now, I have a Jacksonville setup coming up in some facet. But keep an eye on this team, like incremental growth, especially on that defensive end, like one of your emailers talked about. That's that's what I'll be focusing on, and maybe writing about a little more.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon, Chris.
See you, Shane. Thanks, man.
That's Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. We appreciate everybody joining the program. Tomorrow we'll have Brent Beard. I'll have Blake Brockermeyer out from Texas, who covers the Longhorns, former All-American there. And have a great day, folks. Take care.